Okay, guys, last page. In a poll of 700 students, 325 indicate they prefer late start instead of early out. Find a sample proportion. Sample proportion is just my p hat. That's going to be the percent of the portion of them. 325 out of the 700. So 325 over 700. Let's change that to a decimal because it's a little more useful. 325 over 700 gives me 0.464. Let's just round that to 0.464. 0.464. Determine a margin of error at a 95% confidence level. Well, the margin of error, we've already done that in the last page, is going to be 2 times, this is for a sample proportion though. So the formula is 2 times that sample proportion, 0.464, times 1 minus that, 1 minus 0.464, all over the sample size, which is the 700. 700. Okay, and I put that in a calculator because I don't want to do that in my head. I don't know if I can. Big fraction 0.464 times 1 minus point. And I guess if I was going to do this more exact, I would put that fraction because that wouldn't round it. But I've already started, so I'm just going to stop right there. I'll deal with it right there. 0.037. Let's go do 0.038. 0.038. So there's my margin of error. And to find the confidence interval, I'm going to take that and I'm going to add it, and I'm going to take it and subtract it. So 0.464 minus 0.038, that gives me 0.426. 0.426. And 0.464. I guess I could just do this, huh? I could go back and I could change that minus to a plus, and I could go to 0.502. Okay, so what that tells me is that I'm 95% confident that the proportion of students that would prefer a late start instead of an early hour is somewhere between 42.6% and 50.2%. So I don't know if the majority prefers it or opposes it. If that 50% is in that interval, I don't know a lot. I need to know more. Because I don't know if the majority is there, because the whole interval is not above or below 50%. 50% included, so it could be anywhere in there. What would happen if I decreased that to 90%? Well, a 95% interval, remember, is 2 standard deviations more and 2 standard deviations less. Is that wide? A 90% interval would be less than that. In fact, a 90% interval means that you got 5% here and 5% there. It's the center 90%. Okay? The interval would get smaller. Okay? And at 90%, the 90% confidence interval, if I want to go by my table, I'm looking for 5%. 5% is actually right here at negative 1.65 is what we use. Negative 1.65. Okay, so I would go, Z is 1.65, and so my confidence interval would be this 0.464 plus and minus 1.65 times the square root of 0.464 times 1 minus 4.64 all over 700. So it's the exact same as these calculations, just with this is a little different. So I'm going to type that in there. 0.464 plus 1.65 times the square root of big fraction 0.464 times 1 minus 0.464 all over 700. That's going to be 0.495. That's the upper part of my interval, 0.495. And if I go minus that, gives me 0.433. So what I know is I'm 90% confident that the proportion of students who would prefer a late start to early out is somewhere between 0.433 and 0.495. Now, this says, could I say that more students prefer a late start instead of early out? I would have to say no. At 95% interval, 50% is in the interval. So I can't tell a preference there at all. With a 90% interval, it's all below the 50%. So what that means is that I'm 90% confident that fewer than 50% prefer late start. 90% sure, less than 50% prefer the late start. And if I was writing a test, I wouldn't just abbreviate. I wouldn't be so simple as this. I would put an explanation. And I would choose yes or no. And I would probably choose no, and I would say because at a 90% confidence, my entire interval is below 50%, which indicates I'm 90% sure that less than 50% prefer a late start, and that's fewer than the majority. Okay, guys, that's that last page. Good luck on the test. Goodbye.